Robinson. I'll be your host today, talking about a new thing that's coming out of PCS grades, MyVetBENEFITS. Todd, I'm so excited to have you on the show and to be talking to you about all the things that you guys are doing, especially this new app. Very exciting stuff. So we'll start with a softball. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're associated with the military.
Sure. Before I do, I'm glad you're excited, Tessa, because it would be really embarrassing if you were hosting this and you weren't at least a little bit excited about it. So glad that you shared that with us. Um, yeah, my background, Air Force veteran, I retired in 2016. I was fortunate I got to fly my whole career. I flew U-2s, B-1s, T-38s. So about 22 and a half years. I did 14 years active duty, and then the last 8.5 years was in the reserve. So I've got some of that experience under my belt as well. And during our active duty time, since PCS grades is a relevant topic here, we PCSed about 8 times. So yeah, I don't know. That's me in a nutshell. I got a wife and 2 grown boys who are awesome, and that's me.
Love it. Now, your why behind PCS grades, I always thought was such a great story. How you started with survivor benefits, and a lot of that will bleed into your why behind My Vet Benefits. So tell us about that. Tell us about why you feel this passion to create these things that serve the community so well.
Thank you. Well, I tell you, this almost seems like an even better fit, a more direct corollary um, to the why is My Vet Benefits, I think. And I think it'll make sense as people listen. But yeah, my why goes back to, I'll tell you guys a quick story, but I had a buddy of mine who passed away in an aircraft accident back in 2003. And uh, during his memorial service, when we were doing the missing man formation, I was the one flying in that missing man. So just prior to 4 jets going over the memorial site, one of those jets pulls up from the middle of the formation up and notably away, leaving an open space, signifying the missing man. And I was that guy who pulled up that day. I had his flag on board. I was solo, kind of, a gambit of emotions that were running through me and everyone who was flying and on the ground too. But after we land, we then get together, all the pilots, and we take that flag. And that's the flag that we then gave to his widow and his 3 and 4 year old children at the time. Um, got to know that family very well over the years. We had a nice emotional connection that we had made. But fast forward 8 years, and now his widow is coming to me and saying, "Hey, Todd, I got this really weird letter from DFAS, and it says that, whoops, we made a mistake accounting for your husband's administrative pay status at his time of death. And so we're going to take away all these survivor benefits you've been getting for the last 8 years. And here's a 1-800 number." And 2 weeks later, Tessa, the benefits were gone. And she was just left asking questions. And so I just started asking questions, trying to help, quickly learning that people didn't have the answers. Also learned early on that 94 other families got the same letter. And then spent a 5-year odyssey learning how to navigate the Pentagon and Congress in order to get some language in existing congressional law, but public law, changed. And we were very fortunate that we were finally able to get that done. And so today, it's we can announce as of 2017 that any family who experiences that kind of loss, if that occurred during the line of duty, then that family is going to get the exact same survivor benefits that any other family would get. And the reason why I tell that story is because I just feel very strongly that it's not the military per se that takes care of its own. To me, the military is the government, and sometimes it works out. Sometimes you get a letter from DFAS and a 1-800 number. I feel much more strongly that it's about the military family. It's about you and I and people listening in here today. It's about us taking care of each other. And if we're waiting for someone else to do it, it doesn't always work out. So we need to step up and help each other. So very much the concepts that fuel PCS grades and how we crowdsource helping people out when they, are moving. but a very direct relation to helping, our veterans, military members, and spouses, as you'll hear more here, get more directly connected to the benefits they've earned.
That's incredible. Well, I'm really excited to hear about this app. I mean, I on the back end of it have heard a lot about it over the last year and been very excited to see it come to fruition. So tell us about it. What is MyVetBENEFITS app?
Well, my gosh, we've been anticipating it for a long time too. So yeah, I appreciate your patience with us and a number of other folks too. But yeah, really the app in its core concepts is fairly simple. It's just none of this is really being done anywhere else right now. But um, you know, you and I, again, everybody listening here, we know how daunting it can be when you're trying to navigate the benefits landscape. I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of benefits. There's equal numbers of organizations that are out there, and there's a lot of great ones out there. But as long as these benefits and organizations have ever existed, they've always run up against the challenge of one, educating our community about the existing benefits, and two, then actually getting them connected to those benefits and using them. And so what this app does is it basically it just cuts through all that noise. No more PowerPoints, no more three-ring binders required, which frankly is still how most of this stuff is being communicated. And instead, this app takes care of it for you. And very briefly, what it does is the first and foremost thing is you go in, you fill out your personal profile based off of your time in service, or it could be your spouse who's filling it out. Again, usually based off of the service member's time in service. So you fill out that profile and it goes very quickly. And by the way, we're finding that overwhelmingly people are filling out the profile, which is pretty cool to see. And then the app takes care of the rest by saying, hey, out of the thousands of benefits that we have in our database, these are the ones that we think are a best fit for your profile. And then, it's other, frankly, modern technology stuff that we take for granted. I mean, stuff is sortable, and you can actually bookmark things and, favorite them. A lot of the things that, we come to, expect out of a modern technology experience that just otherwise right now doesn't really exist in this space this way. And then I know I'm taking a long time to answer your question, but I'd say the other third of what the app does, because that's really, I think, the biggest, most unique value is how it makes that match. But we also, while that part is focused on getting you directly connected to individual benefits, we have another section in there where the focus is more on getting you connected to an organization. So there are these veteran resources, if you will, that are in there under categories like entrepreneurship and employment and veteran service organizations and a few others. And that's where we feature a curated list. It's not thousands. It's in the dozens of nationally established, renowned organizations that we can get you connected with, underneath each one of those given categories. So that's a long-winded answer. I hope some of that made a little bit of sense.
It made a lot of sense. And I think, when there are thousands of resources available, it feels so overwhelming that it's kind of a non-starter. And so to have a curated list of vetted organizations is such a benefit. I love that. How many benefits are in the app?
So right now we got a little bit more than 2,400 benefits.
Okay.
We have certainly seen, because I think we'll talk about this a little bit later, what else is out there and what's not out there, and other potential resources. But, depending on how you chop it up, depending on how you filter them out, sure, some people have things where they say we got tens and tens of thousands of them. We've kind of started small and are working big, if you will. But out of these 2,400 current benefits, we certainly have all the VA benefits. Then something we're really excited about is we have all the state benefits that are out there as well. Then we have benefits from veteran service organizations, and what I like to think of also as family service organizations like NMFA, Blue Star Families, and others. And then increasingly, we're adding benefits. So I do see us adding a few more thousand, and even here in the near term, I see us adding that many.
Amazing. So tell me a little bit, because I guess I'm a little confused with, so you have VSO and local benefits, right? So
Yeah,
let's say NMFA is in there. So as
yeah,
an entrepreneur, I would go in and say like, what resources are available to me? And then that would pop up.
yeah. So there's two things. When it comes to the direct benefits, it's a little bit more of that profile is
Mhm.
what's driving you getting a curated list of, hey, here are the benefits we think work for you. You can favorite those, as you see fit. Um, but no, when it comes to the veteran resources, that's just a little bit more of you making your own personal connection. So, um, we're kind of mix matching here, but let's say entrepreneurship is one that's of interest to you. So under the veteran resource categories, you find entrepreneurship, you go and open it up, and you'll see a few different organizations that are in there. One that we're really excited about is the Rosie Network is
Mhm.
in there. So service to CEO. I mean, they do just some great stuff there as far as getting people the education and the resources and the expertise that they need in the entrepreneurial world. But the point is you navigate your way when it comes to the organizations. We're just providing a more organized, filtered, I guess, approach so that you don't have to go to Google and do it on your own.
Oh, I love that. Thanks for clarifying. That's fun. So fun.
Yeah.
So who was this built for? When you kind of decided that this is the way you wanted to go. Who did you have in mind when you were building this app?
Yeah, well, so we actually inherited this app from another organization a couple of years ago, and then they were focused on serving the military and veteran community. Obviously, makes sense. They would have built this app. Unfortunately, they ended up closing their doors, but we got the app from those guys, and I say that because it was very much in the vein of kind of a veteran centric platform, and that's the angle that for the longest time we took. But we have certainly come to realize that hold on a second, this certainly serves the veteran community. We think there's a huge need in those transitioning from active military into the veteran community. But we already have a number of benefits in there that guess what? It also serves the currently serving, active military community. And we've also come to realize too that hey, this thing needs to be something that's available to everybody. It needs to feel inclusive to everybody, and so that's spouses and dependents as well. So it's pretty much anybody in the military and veteran community at whatever level you're at or however you're attached to that community. I'll admit, we're in the early stages, having just launched the website version here just recently. So there are definitely improvements to the user experience that we're excited to bring to bear. But as we continue to bring those to bear, it should look, and sound more and more inclusive to not just for veterans, but for veterans and their families, for active military and their families, and certainly something that you would expect a military spouse to get their hands on and want to use, because we know how this works. The military member, the veteran, gets exposed, to all kinds of information, and oftentimes, unfortunately, the spouse is an afterthought. And whether or not they're an afterthought, they still, for whatever reason, aren't the ones that are getting that firsthand knowledge on these things. So we're trying to provide an opportunity for the spouses to get their own firsthand knowledge on benefits that don't just serve the veteran or the service member, but obviously benefits that very much help them and help their families.
Awesome. I'm going to echo Yvonne and say this is amazing and so needed. Thank you for that comment. We love seeing the comments. It's really my favorite part about this. So hi to Natasha, hi to Angela, and anybody else who's watching.
Awesome.
Shout it out. Leave a comment. We read them as we're speaking. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask Todd anything about the app. Like he said, the website version is live, and we're going to get into a little bit more about when the app will launch itself. But tell us a little bit about, I know you inherited the app, but you've had your own team working very diligently on making much needed improvements. Who is the team behind My Vet Benefits?
Yeah, well, guess what? It's the same people that this thing is built for, are the same kind of people that are behind the app. Also happens to be the same people behind PCS grades, hence we're here on a PCS grade show talking about this. But yeah, we're veterans, we're spouses. In fact, we're heavy on the spouse side for sure, and we're military brats. So it's I mean, frankly, guys, we're building these products and these services, and in particular, MyVetBenefits, not just for you. Selfishly, we're building it for ourselves too. And I've been surprised at times at putting the app together, getting the database, to its where it is currently. The things that I've been able to learn along the way. So yeah, it's this is the whole by and for military and veteran families experience for sure.
Well, and you have a great team. You really do. And isn't one of the developers a little bit related to you? Is that one? Isn't your son one of the developers?
It's true. Yeah. Yes, we do have a military brat with the same last name of Ernst that is one of the devs on this project as well.
That's so awesome. Okay, before we go to the next question, I have to know, does he call you Todd at work or Dad?
You know what? I never thought.
Or just sir?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Call me sir. But no, I never in my wildest dreams ever anticipated working with family. It was just never something that I projected or desired. Frankly, I always thought it would be a terrible failure to do that. Bad things would happen. But no, just serendipitously, we started working together years ago, and he was the one that laid out a lot of the ground rules. So it did sound a little weird at first when he would call me Todd in the work environment, but we are so over it now, and I get all the dad love outside of the professional environment. But yeah, inside the work environment, it's Todd, and it works for us. Works well.
I know it does. Well, and I bring that up, Todd, because you really have created this team that feels like such a family environment. And so when you're building an app for military family members, I do think it's important that people recognize it's not just somebody that you hired overseas. It really is built in-house and by your son. So it's I think so cool that you guys have worked on that together.
Yeah, and just to make sure I give a shout out too, we have a phenomenal another developer that works with him who's an Air Force veteran. So please don't hold that against us, guys. A couple of Air Force vets working on this, and then of course when we need to, if we have to use third parties from time to time, we'll do that. But these two guys do a heck of a lot right and really good by us. Yeah,
that's awesome. We want to go into my favorite, which is rapid fire. And I've always thought we should have some sort of background music like dun, dun, dun. So I'll just add that for us. Rapid fire, dun, dun, dun. All right, you ready, Todd?
Let's do it. Do it.
When will the app launch?
Oh, I have no idea, Tessa. No, it's so guys, when we say the word app, app means a lot of things. I think most people's mind probably goes to, hey, the Android store or the app, the Apple store. But the app currently exists right now. It just happens to be in a web-based version. So go to your desktop or go even to your smartphone, and it's mobile friendly. But yeah, you can go to myvetbenefits.com, all one word, myvetbenefits.com. And it's launched right now. Now, the true mobile, if you will, but the ones that you'll find in the actual app stores should be coming out in the new year by the end of January. And as excited as people are that we all are already out there, we see a lot of excitement from people when they hear that, hey, I'm going to be able to find this in the app store as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I love Yvonne's comment. It's an easy process to get signed up to. Absolutely, it is. All right, next question. Dun, dun, dun. Does it cost money?
It does not cost money. It costs us money to make but no, absolutely not. This PCS grades, and so many of the ones that are out there with other organizations, no, it has to be free. I mean, for this thing to just to even have the look and feel and to be by and for, I couldn't imagine having a cost associated with it for the users to come in and use it. No,
Well,
it's
there
free.
really isn't, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Todd, there really isn't anything else on the market like it, especially that's free. Is that correct?
Oh, Tessa, it's almost like I was waiting for you to ask that question. But guys, there are a few things that are out there. I'll tell you, in the last few years, there have been some improvements. When we first inherited this app, I would say there was just a whole lot of absolutely nothing out there. There are a couple of things out there now, but they're still very rudimentary. It might look like a pretty website, but it's pretty limited in what they can do. It's practically a PDF. Some of them will have categories associated with them, so maybe you can break it down a little bit more by category. But for sure, you don't have the digital matchmaking that's going on like we do. And you certainly, in most instances, don't have people trying to directly get you in touch with the organizations in the same way that we are. And I'll tell you this, while we're only website version right now, as soon as we are out into the app stores, then we will be 100% unique, because there really is nothing like that. Again, there's one or two that get close on the Venn diagram as far as that center circle with us. But the center circle is really pretty small on what they do and what our app is going to do. And then last thing I'll say too is we're going to try to stay very narrowly focused on what this app does. We don't want it to end up doing hundreds of things so that people get lost in the app, and then ultimately it's confusing and daunting and you might as well go back to Google. But we're going to continue to try to just stay honed in on the existing functionality with a couple of other improvements, and just get better and better at the way that we deliver these things.
Yeah, and this is great feedback from Lizanne. They're going through the retirement process now, and this app website is an amazing resource. You don't know what's out there and what you qualify for until you see the full list of matches on My Vet Benefits. Very cool. I have to imagine it's really exciting to see your baby come to fruition and then to get positive feedback like that, that it's easy to sign up for, it's great to use, and it's actually very helpful.
I tell you, we are excited. I admit I'm one of those that I like to use the term cautiously optimistic.
Mhm.
My family says cautiously pessimistic is what I really mean. But yeah, I tell you, the early indicators are very strong with the people who are coming in here and using it. And so I think there's a lot that we are doing right. I'm anxious to continue to get it out there more and more for us to really be able to verify that what we're seeing is true. But the earliest indicators, yeah, it's pretty exciting. I do think we have something here that'll be very useful, in a very organized and clean way for folks.
Definitely. Dun dun dun. Apple and Android download.
Yeah, so they should come out at about the same time. The way code works and the way it's changed over the last few years, it allows us to kind of do code that's about most of it is shared between both the website version, but also those two, mobile app stores. And so I say all that because right now on the web-based version, while we're hashing things out, improving user experience, when we're ready, there's just a little extra connection we need to go do for each one of those app stores. So it shouldn't truly take very much longer to get those done once we're ready. But yeah, it'll be on all three. And then the other exciting part is wherever you log in, your stuff is saved. So if you've got your profile saved, you got your favorite saved, you can log in on the web side of things, or you'll be able to log in, on your iPhone, and either way, it'll be the same profile. So we think that'll be some great functionality.
Perfect. And where can our viewers get notified? Where will they find out that it's launched and live in the App Store?
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say, guys, is go to myvetbenefits.com. Again, all one word, myvetbenefits.com. And I'd go ahead and just sign up for the current experience, because one, you can, two, you'll then be you'll be captured into our email list to make sure that we can give you all those notifications. Of course, We're going to be using the email list to be giving updates about benefits as well, new benefits, but also how certain benefits are getting revised. And so you'll be getting a lot of that kind of information that if you're interested in benefits, you'll be getting some of that. But certainly we're going to be notifying people, who sign up on our email lists when it does go live. So I'd say, yeah, myvetbenefits.com and go ahead and sign up today.
Awesome. And I'm sure folks can follow Facebook and LinkedIn as well for updates.
Oh my gosh, please. Yes.
Definitely a social plug there. Dun, dun, dun. What do I do if I know of a benefit that's not listed? So I'm using the app and I happen to see like, oh, there's this great, I keep going back to entrepreneurial, but maybe an employment resource that I don't see on there. How do I get it added?
Yeah, I tell you, I like that you're down into a specific example, because I'm going to still take it back a step and say, we desire your feedback, period. If there is something that's missing that you think needs to be in here, please, please, please give us your feedback. And again, if you go into myvetbenefits.com and you register today, that's one of the very prominent features that we have in there is a feedback feature, and it will always be a prominent thing, because guys, this thing only works. It's that whole concept of us taking care of each other. This thing only works if we are going to grow it together. And so, yeah, if it's something as simple as there's a missing benefit that I really think should be in here, give us that feedback. If there's a resource / organization that you think really is deserving and should be in the veteran resource category, let us know. If there's a spelling mistake and you noticed it and we didn't, oh my gosh, please let us know. And if you just want to say hi, do that too. Use the feedback. But guys, we greatly desire your feedback. We need your feedback, and that's how this thing is going to get better.
Well, and that's one reason that PCS Grades has been as successful with reviews as it has been, is that people are so willing to give their feedback. And that's ultimately what makes everything better, for sure.
Agreed.
All right. So last question, obviously, where can we find the app and can people start using it today?
Well, hopefully by now they could fill in the blank for us. But yeah, guys, myvetbenefits.com. Go there and sign up today. You can start using it right now, whether you're on your smartphone or you're on your laptop. It is a website right now. That is the version that's currently available, but myvetbenefits.com, all one word. And then stand by, because we're going to let you know when the mobile apps are available in the stores as well.
Thank you. And Todd, anything else you want to share with our audience about this incredible resource?
I think we've said it at this point, Tessa, but hats off to you for your support, your enthusiasm, and just taking the time to be able to have a chat like this and share it out with folks. And then, oh my gosh, the guests that are commenting and that are here and supportive. Seriously, guys, if you know me, you know I'm an emotional, passionate kind of guy. My heart is full. And I believe strongly in us all taking care of each other. And when it really comes together like this, yeah, my heart's full.
Awesome. All the feels. So good. Well, thank you so much, not just for spending a little bit of time with us today to talk to us about this incredible resource, but thank you for building it. And thank you for being so passionate about serving the community. I know we all appreciate it. I hope everybody has a phenomenal rest of your week. Todd Ernst, sign us off.
Thanks, everybody. I don't have anything else to say. I just appreciate everybody and your support. So thank you.